Hey guys, Pmhk here, obviously. Now, I've been using the iPad Air 4 for the past 2 months, and I must say this is actually a really great device that has actually replaced my old MacBook Pro, which I used to use to edit my videos and do most of the stuff. Now, a little disclaimer, I also use the iMac Mini to edit most of my 4K videos, but if I had to move straight on doing those things in the iPad Air 4, because it comes with the A14 Bionic inside, it should actually handle all those tasks that I used to perform on my MacBook Pro really smoothly. So there are two ways you can actually look at this device, and one of them is as an upgrade to its predecessor, which was the iPad Air 3, which was actually using the older form factor with the big bezel and still using a lightning connector. This guy has actually upgraded to a USB-C type of connection, which actually brings us to the second way you can view this guy, which is as a smaller brother to the iPad Pro. This could be the iPad Pro 2020 or even the iPad Pro 2018, since as you guys can actually see, it actually is really similar to those iPad. One of the main difference, which is actually a really simple difference between this guy and the iPad Pro, is that the iPad Pro is an 11-inch iPad and this one here is 10.9, which is a difference that you actually might not even notice. And a second one, just to throw it out there, is that those ones come with a 120 Hertz refresh rate, which this guy actually doesn't have, but that is really something that you might not even miss or notice unless you play those high frame rate games maybe. Now let's talk a little bit about the design of this guy. Now this guy here, as I mentioned, looks just like the iPad Pros, apart from now it comes with 3 additional colors, which is the rose gold, comes also in green, and comes in the sky blue, which I actually have here. And this iPad now moves to the new redesign, again similar to the iPad Pro, which is this kind of a boxy shape. And now also because of the changes, or those changes in design, this iPad here supports the Apple Pencil version 2, which actually magnetizes and charges right here. Behind this guy you have a couple of magnets that actually helps you with the accessories and cases. You have the 12 megapixel wide angle camera at the back, which has an aperture of 1.8, and one downside to this iPad as compared to the other, the bigger brother, the Pro version, is that this 12 megapixel here will not give you the portrait mode that those iPads come with if you an avid iPad Pro photographer. And you can also actually see down here the 3-pin connect, which is going to allow you basically to connect your Apple's proprietary type cases. Now in front you have this big 10.9-inch display, which is an LED backlit display packing a resolution of 2360 by 1640 pixels and a pixel per inch count of 264. Now one advantage that you would have in buying this guy is that this guy here comes with Apple's latest chipset, which is the A14 chip, which also comes on the brand new iPhones, which actually was one of the reasons I opted to wait for the iPad Air 4 to come out than buying any of the iPad Pro, because the chipset on those iPads would actually be outdated. But those devices are actually still good devices, especially if you can find good offers on refurbished devices. Now the Touch ID, which resides right here, which is basically on top of that 12 megapixel camera that you have in the back. I made a video kind of crying about the Touch ID, that it actually took a little bit of time to unlock, and I think on that video I mentioned that the previous iPad Pros has a raise to wake function, which actually some of you guys told me that it actually doesn't have, but the Touch ID on its own on the iPad also become kind of a cumbersome application for you to actually unlock your device, and I would actually prefer to buy an iPad if I had the choice that comes with both Touch ID and the Face ID, which actually makes much sense since you're going to have multiple ways of unlocking your device when it comes to multiple situations. One of the situations that I actually would want to unlock it with the Face ID is maybe when the tablet is on the table and you just tap, it will wake, and then you just maybe get closer. And also, if Apple actually improved the Touch ID, you might actually not even have to get closer to the tablet, you just tap and unlock. And another situation where you'd maybe not use the Face ID and you'd rather use the Touch ID is maybe if you are already with the tablet in hand, then you just basically rest your finger, and then when you tap, it automatically actually unlocks. Now, I've been mainly using this guy to basically do some simple admin work, which is basically navigating through my emails, checking up a couple of websites that I actually check for updates each and every morning. And one other thing that I've actually been doing the most in this iPad is actually playing games. I've been playing Call of Duty lately, but I did make a video prior to this talking about the case that I actually had bought for this guy here, and I've actually also gave you a couple of the applications that I've been using on this guy, and I'm obviously going to link that video down in the descriptions for you guys to actually go and catch up on that video. And apart from that, I've been mainly editing my thumbnails on this guy, and I've also kind of used it as a home tablet, which basically means that I have been using it to control all the smart devices that I have around the house. Now, if I could actually give one recommendation when you guys pick up the iPad Air 4, one option that you guys actually go with is that make sure you actually buy the folio case and the Apple Pencil as your initial accessories. I know those two accessories are actually going to cost you a little bit more and actually putting this guy closer to the price of the iPad Pro, but those are actually two things that you're going to miss as soon as you start using this device. Hence, I went and bought a cover straight up when I noticed that this guy actually was picking up a lot of fingerprint, and I actually also wanted to protect the back of the device. Now, the pencil would actually come in handy when I'm doing most of the thumbnails and you actually have to zoom in and edit or erase part of pictures, which actually you need to zoom in so you can see pixel by pixel, so you can actually do a better fine work when it comes to doing those basic editings, if that's actually something you are into. Now, would I recommend this device? And the answer is simple: yes, I would recommend this device. If you are coming from any earlier versions of the iPad Air, then you can go for this device. Now, if you're currently using an iPad Pro, even if it's the 2018 iPad Pro, I really wouldn't recommend that you guys go and buy this device. I would actually tell you guys to wait for the newer iPad Pro, maybe 2021, if Apple actually releases it next year. And the other recommendation that I would make is that if you are really into mobile gaming and you want a faster frame rate device, you can actually, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, find good deals of this device maybe on the Apple refurbished store and the Facebook market. So this is gonna be it for my review of the iPad. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask me them on the comments down below. Otherwise, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you go and you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give this video a like. Also, make sure you click that notification bells button so you can get notified whenever I upload a brand new video, and I am going to catch you guys on my next one. Peace.